George.
Not at all.
I'm sure you can bear with us.
Anyway, good morning. We're so glad that you've chosen to be with us here today at the Church of Hope. Thank you for coming. We're also pleased to announce that we have a guest coming from the little town of Lake Inasmuch. You all know where Lake Inasmuch is, don't you? It's not far from Bartholomew. That's right. Well, here he is to catch us up on all that's happening at the lake. None other than Bartholomew Bear.
Howdy, 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 everybody. I am so pleased to be here with you all this morning. I could not be any happier if I were the first in line for tickets for a Shania Twain concert. You know, I could not be any happier if I were the recipient of a winning lottery ticket that was about to give me that.
That's pretty happy. We're glad to see you too.
Thank you very much. You know, I should explain that I have had myself a week and a half, what with all the preparations and the service and all the stuff at the funeral.
Oh, no, Bart, I didn't know. Who passed away?
Old Uncle Nick.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Did you know him?
Well,
Of course you did, Uncle Nick, though I don't think I've ever met him.
Well,
did he live around the lake? Was he really a family member?
Well, I
or was
should
he another
explain.
brother of Bible Bills? When did all this happen? Just a little, I don't know. Just a little.
It's okay. It's okay. A lot of us get a little out of sorts when death happens. We get embarrassed. We get scared. We get sad. And we don't know what to say, so we say everything that pops in our heads.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm all of that. Maybe you should give us the high points, Bart.
Yes, ma'am, I will. Uncle Nick was not my family type uncle. You know, everybody called him Uncle Nick. He lived over at the Happy Trails nursing home for so long that nobody really remembers how long. But the important thing is that folks do remember.
Well, how did you know him, Bart?
He was the guy in church who always loved us kids. He would teach Sunday school when we had one. He would help with VBS every year. He would be or do or create or whatever the kids needed. He always knew our names. He always greeted us. He always asked how we were doing. He always had a smile for us, even when, well, you know about even when. Okay, so someone needed to go on. If somebody had needed to go on a trip or needed help with school or was just having a bad time, we would all go and sit on his front porch swing and he would listen.
He sounds like a real treasure.
Oh, he was. He really still is, you know. If we didn't want to talk, he would just tell us stories or let us help in the garden or send us home with flowers or fruit or colored paper and crayons.
Oh, so he was a generous man.
Well, ma'am, from this perspective, I'd have to say he was love. He loved us so that we could be loved for others. He showed us how it was done.
So what about the service?
Oh, that was hard. It turned out to be a wet, thunderstorm, loud, nasty kind of day at the lake, and I didn't even think anyone would be there. You know, nothing was going to stop me. You know, even if I was the only one, I was going to be there.
Sounds like you've been pretty lucky to have a number of people who've been there for you, Bart.
I have indeed.
So the service?
Oh, I got there and. Well, you can guess. There were folks all over the place. If you'd have asked Uncle Nick, he would have told you that his was an ordinary life, nothing special. But the seed of love that he had sown was everywhere.
Oh, Bart.
Yeah. People I hadn't seen in years were there to remember together who and what Uncle Nick meant in their lives. You know, they had letters he had written and little craft projects. Some of them had kept for years and things they'd made at Uncle Nick's. And some had dried flowers and poems and so many things that spoke of his love and generosity. He gave so much life to the community.
Bart, this is beautiful.
Yeah, I know. There were some very old people there who remembered, and some very little ones who only knew him from the home, but who visited him there just like their parents had done.
So he gave his life away so that others might have better lives themselves.
He always said, that life was about making sure that others had the best life they could. It always sounded a lot like Jesus to me.
You know, Bart, I was just thinking that. I guess it doesn't matter if Uncle Nick ever knew what a difference he made in the world. He just loved generously and let the love fall where it may.
That was Uncle Nick. I've got to get going if you don't mind. Some of us are getting together today to share Uncle Nick's stories with some of the new folks in town. Who knows who will be the next Uncle Nick, or maybe who's going to be Jesus for us all. Bye now.
Bye, Bart.